Hello, this is Rex Nebula. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about all things VTuber, and today we will be talking about Nijisanji's financial results, which are less than ideal. Nijisanji recently released their financial results and it is not looking good, especially for Nijisanji EN. For Nijisanji JP, the revenue growth was not that bad since they grew year over year by 22% compared to the previous quarter last year. Those are good numbers. For Nijisanji EN, however, things look a little bleak. Nijisanji EN's revenue growth was actually bad. Revenue growth actually decreased by 40% compared to the same quarter last year. Nijisanji also failed to meet their EPS estimates. What this meant is Nijisanji made a forecast for where their revenue and net profits would be, and they failed to meet goals. In terms of revenue, Nijisanji made 10 billion yen less than what they expected to make. In terms of net profit, Nijisanji made 2 billion yen less than what they expected to make. Obviously, Nijisanji investors were not happy that the company wasn't performing well, and you can see right here, this is Nijisanji's stock price, and it is down. It fell by 21% in a single day. For those who are not aware, the drop in the stock price is very significant. A drop ranging from 1 to 3% is normal, but a drop of 21%? That is really abnormal. This shouldn't happen. If this is happening to your stock, you need to sell immediately. Overall, Nijisanji's stock price fell by 25% in the past 5 days. See here, there was a steep drop-off when the financial results were released. The situation is so bad, if you look at the all-time charts, Nijisanji is down by 24%. That means if you bought Nijisanji stock at IPO, when it was first released to the stock market, you would have lost money. Saying investors were not happy with Nijisanji's performance was an understatement. There was a question and answer session, so investors could ask Nijisanji what was happening, and we are going to go through that now. Something interesting that the CEO of Nijisanji said in the beginning was that the fourth quarter is expected to be the year's largest in terms of sales and profits, and they were currently working to achieve the goal. This is interesting because the financial results that just released were from the third quarter. So what Riku Tazumi is saying here is that he's saying the next financial results release will look much better than this. Riku Tazumi actually gave some hints regarding why he's so excited about the fourth quarter. And he would say, I believe the Nijisanji festival held in December generated a lot of excitement compared to last year. The impression I'm getting is that Riku is trying to say that the sales from Nijisanji festival will probably save and actually improve the financial results for the fourth quarter. However, Riku still does say there are problems. In terms of costs, while the sales of the Nijisanji festival were very good, in terms of costs, the event recorded a large deficit from ticket sales alone, and this was the main reason why the third quarter costs were lower than expected. Riku would also acknowledge that there were some problems with Nijisanji EN, yeah, obviously, and that they were trying to improve. Riku acknowledges that Niji EN had fallen significantly compared to the same period last year, and in the third quarter of last year, certain products sold very well, leading to large sales, but in the third quarter of the fiscal year, ending April 2024, sales of such products will decrease compared to last year. This resulted in a sluggish sales performance, which led to a decline in sales compared to the same period last year. So he's claiming that the merch sales aren't doing as well compared to previous years. Most of us are aware that Nijisanji EN has problems, and we expected Riku to slow down the rate of VTuber debuts so he can fix the problem before accelerating again. Unfortunately, that will not happen, because Riku has said we will work on expanding our activities as a group, including increasing the number of VTubers. Which, to be fair, well, that has always been the strategy of Nijisanji, to just churn out and pump out so many VTubers that they occupy so many niches. All the fans has to do is to find a specific VTuber they like and then just watch that one VTuber and that's it. That is Nijisanji's strategy, pumping out VTuber groups over and over and over again within a short period of time. Accelerate. It's not what we expected, but what can you do? It's Nijisanji. Nijisanji would also take some time to brag about their virtual talent academy, where they offer singing and talk lessons with the aim of continuing their activities, being active in the medium to the long term, as well as growing in ability. So the VTA is basically a training academy. Potential Nijisanji VTubers will go to the VTA, do some VTuber work for the company, and then after a couple months up to a few years, if the company decides that the talent is worth investing in, they will debut some of the VTubers in the VTA into the main Nijisanji branch. The VTA actually got into a lot of controversy after a lot of their members actually quit. Some actually tried suing Nijisanji after that, I don't know why they're bragging about it here. To add insult to injury, while the Q&A session was taking place, Nijisanji took the time to wipe out all the videos on the Virtual Talent Academy channel. All the videos are gone. You can see here this channel doesn't have any content. It's gone. There's no evidence that the VTubers ever existed. Nijisanji would say, regarding Nijisanji EN, we do not currently have an academy like the VTA, but we will continue to develop a training program, produce VTubers who can be active in the medium to long term during the process from audition to debut. Through this, we hope to create a system that will prevent schedule delays and compliance issues. And now we reach the first question from investors. What are your impressions of Shima Spain Village? Why did you visit the Shima Spain Village? Oh, this is hilarious. So what happened was Riku Tazumi, he would put out a tweet saying he went to Shima Spain Village to play. You can see this is him here in the Spanish amusement park in Japan. And this photo did not go well with investors. They thought the CEO went to a theme park to play when his company was burning down to the ground. Let's see what the answer is. The other day, I went to Shima Spain Village where our VTubers were collaborating in the promotion area. Oh yeah, that makes sense. 2 years ago, we had a collaboration with our company's VTubers, which seemed to be well received, and so we are doing it again this year. When we actually visited Shima Spain Village, we saw a large number of people having fun by taking pictures with stuffed animals belonging to our company's VTubers. We believe that by introducing this attractive Shima Spain Village, we were able to demonstrate that effect. By visiting the store, I was able to get a strong sense of enthusiasm of our actual customers. Fine. And now we get to the part where investors are angry and they want to know, why did the stock price go down? Please answer us. They would ask, both sales and profits are said to be in line with the plan according to you, but it seems the stock market was expecting an even stronger number. In that sense, I think it would be better to improve our dialogue with the stock market. However, what do you think about this? Nijisanji would actually double down on their "we are in line with the plan" slogan, saying, I think there are a variety of reasons behind the stock market's expectations for higher numbers than planned, including the fact that forecasts were revised multiple times last year. When looking at the feet individually, there are some areas where they are a little stronger and some areas where they are a little weaker. Nijisanji EN in this case, but overall they are in line. I believe that the reason behind this is that as we repeat the process of making and executing plans, accuracy of our plans gradually improves. I don't see any evidence of that. Hey, good luck. Now on to the next question. Q&A regarding the sales of Nijisanji segment. The question is, were there any special factors regarding the Nijisanji segment's commerce sales in the third quarter, such as a significant delay to the fourth quarter? Nijisanji would say sales in the commerce area for the third quarter basically exceeded the company's initial plan. Therefore, in that sense, there is no deviation in comparison with the plan. As a supplement, product sales for Nijisanji Festival were very good, and the orders received after the event, which had the largest volume of product sales, were not received in the third quarter, but were booked in the fourth quarter. This is interesting. Therefore, 30 to 40% of Nijisanji Festival related product sales will be recorded in the fourth quarter. Those are fighting words. You know what this means, guys? What Nijisanji is saying here, that the Nijisanji Festival revenues were so good, but they didn't put the numbers in the third quarter. They actually put the numbers in the fourth quarter, and they're using that to justify why the third quarter results were not as ideal. They would also double down by saying 40% of the merch sales would be recorded in the fourth quarter. So let's pay attention to the fourth quarter financial results, which we'll be releasing in a couple of months. If the fourth quarter results aren't as high as Nijisanji claimed, then they are lying here. But I am more inclined to believe that this was deliberate. I think Nijisanji knew that the third quarter results would never be good. So instead of putting all the Nijisanji Festival sales into the third quarter and let it be diluted by all the bad financial results, why not delay it onto the fourth quarter so they can impress investors? By the way, the reason why I believe Nijisanji Festival revenue from their merch sales will be significant is because Nijisanji Festival does not just include Nijisanji EN. Nijisanji Festival includes Nijisanji JP and Nijisanji EN. From what we've seen, Nijisanji EN is the one that's stagnating, but Niji JP is doing fine. They actually grew 22% compared to last year. And since Nijisanji JP's merch is sold at the Nijisanji Festival, that would mean that there should be a lot of sales regarding Nijisanji JP merch that will appear in the fourth quarter. At least that's what I expect. I will make a video regarding Nijisanji's next financial results. So subscribe if you haven't already. Investors are still not satisfied with Nijisanji's answers because the stock price is still down, so they asked regarding factors that affect the full-year performance plan of Nijisanji. The investor question is, please tell me what factors you think could cause an increase or decrease in the full-year performance plan. As usual, Nijisanji is trying to sidestep the question by saying there are no major deviations from the plans, which we were planning to implement in the fourth quarter, regardless of whether they have been disclosed or not. As we have a large proportion of commerce, there is always the possibility of delays due to shipping delays. It's not there's a big concern right now, it's just a matter of possibility. And now, the question you've all been waiting for, regarding strengthening the Nijisanji EN system. The investor question is, please tell me specifically what kind of things you will be working on and over what time frame regarding strengthening the structure of Nijisanji EN. Nijisanji would say they believe that first of all, building a relationship of trust with existing talent that will lead to building a trust with fans. We are working to establish a solid foundation for our management system, and over the next few months we plan to make content that will make Nijisanji EN more exciting so the fans can trust us more. Nijisanji just sidestepped the question again. The trust that the fans have with Nijisanji EN has already been compromised. Yeah, sure, you could say that the trust the fans have for the individual VTuber hasn't deteriorated that much, depending on who you're talking about. Look at Petra. Her fan base wasn't significantly affected, despite all the talk that, oh no, Petra Gurin's 3D debut was shafted, it had a bad time slot. Petra's forced to compete with HoloFest, which is streaming around the same time. He's going to get horrible numbers. Well, that didn't happen. Petra got great numbers. He actually had 178,000 views 7 hours after a 3D debut. Those are impressive numbers. I will say the large VOD views are probably because Elira turned up on Petra's 3D debut to sing a song with her. So a lot of Elira fans came to Petra's 3D debut to enjoy their own Oshi alongside Petra's fans. What I'm trying to say is that the trust that the fans have towards the individual VTubers, even Elira, yes, even Elira, is relatively unshaken. Despite all the horrible rumors about her, despite what she did on a black screen stream, the fans still love her. From what we can see, the VOD views reflect Elira's fans' love for her. That hasn't changed. What I'm trying to say is the trust towards the individual VTubers are still there, even though it's been weakened. But the trust towards Nijisanji as a company is at rock bottom. No one trusts them anymore. And Nijisanji really needs to work hard to change their reputation over time. No amount of content in the short term is going to satisfy fans anymore. Nijisanji needs to take the time to reflect and improve on their processes. And now we move on to the question regarding recording of event sales. Investor question is, am I correct in understanding that goods sold at events will be recorded in the event segment, just like Cover Corp? Nijisanji would reply, Nijisanji would say, we are not aware of the details of Cover Corp's accounting. Our company records only ticket revenue sold in connection with the event, as sales in the event area and goods sold in connection with the event are recorded in the commerce area. Now the question here might seem out of place because why would Nijisanji know about the accounting methods of Hololive, which is a rival company? They shouldn't need to. The reason the investor is asking this question regarding where the merchandise was recorded and where the event sales were recorded is because Nijisanji said earlier they were planning to record the merchandise sales in the fourth quarter. So there is a potential the revenue growth in the fourth quarter will actually be better. And the investors are trying to find evidence that that is the case. That's why they were clarifying, that Nijisanji was clarifying, that the merchandise sales were recorded in the commerce area. Nijisanji would go on to say, while business progress is according to plan, and Nijisanji is progressing at a faster pace, on the other hand, Nijisanji EN is slightly below plan, and there are some challenges. Could you acknowledge that? Although the overall volume of events is not that high, the top line is generally progressing better than planned. However, as explained above, there are issues with the cost side, especially regarding the events held in the most recent third quarter. Revenues generated from live streaming have not grown as much as we expected and are slightly below plan. I think this is partly due to the popularity of YouTube as a whole, and also because the pace of our new debuts is a little slower than expected. What I take this to mean is Nijisanji is still planning to throw stuff at the wall until something sticks. Instead of slowing down, they're gonna accelerate before fixing the stuff that needs to be fixed. But hey, if they actually manage to fix it while they're accelerating, that's fine. Investors would also ask about the medium-term growth potential. What kind of growth rate do you expect in the medium term? The situation in the second and third quarters raises concerns about the next year's growth rate. You said you could control the profitability of the Nijisanji festival. Is that the case? Nijisanji is trying to delay their answer by saying, we plan to disclose this at the timing of this fiscal year's financial results. We would like to aim to become a company that can achieve a certain level of growth. Yeah, they're delaying their answer to the question. Moving on, regarding the deficit in commerce sales of Nijisanji festival. Investors would ask, a Nijisanji festival is in the red, it's not doing well. But does this include related commerce sales? Also, excluding festival-related commerce, domestic commerce sales are the same as in the same period last year or in the previous quarter. It seems to me that the level is slightly below that. Is that true? Nijisanji would say if they compared ticket revenue minus various costs like venue fees and setup costs to hold the festival, they would only be in the red if they exclude commerce sales and manufacturing costs. If you compare the revenue generated from the events, including commerce sales, and all costs incurred related to the events, then they would be profitable. However, Nijisanji would admit when comparing ticket revenue, Nijisanji Festival was in the red, and it was true that profitability was poor compared to similar events in the past. Nijisanji would go on to offer some hope for investors by saying, domestic commerce sales will be strong compared to the previous quarter, and the reason is Nijisanji Festival was a co-sponsored event with an outside company. Event sales, including ticket revenue and merchandise revenue, were not recorded in full. Only a fixed percentage of a total amount is calculated based on the co-sponsorship ratio. Only this amount has been recorded. Sales of goods are also recorded based on the co-sponsorship ratio rather than the total amount. Taking that into consideration, Nijisanji does not think that the commerce sales were weak compared to the previous quarter in the third quarter. Next, oh my lord, regarding the impact of Selentatski's contract termination, investors would ask, regarding Selentatski's termination, some of it was disclosed in the investor report, and I think it caused a lot of controversy after that. Could you please tell me the impact on this? On the third and fourth quarters, also I feel that this is making it even more difficult to develop Nijisanji EN, the English branch, so please tell me your thoughts. I see the rumors that Nijisanji might shut down their English branch is picking up steam. Let's see what they have to say. Nijisanji decided not to answer the question properly because they don't have answers. They would repeat that they needed to rebuild their trust with fans, but they believe that the fans still firmly support the VTubers belonging to Nijisanji. Yeah, they just sidestepped the question. This is actually a bombshell question. If they actually answered this properly, Nijisanji would be flamed. So it's best to just ignore this and move on. It's not ideal, but I can see why Nijisanji tried to avoid the question. And now, Nijisanji is asked regarding Cover Corp's overseas expansion. The investor question is, the press has reported that Cover Corp is setting up a sales office in North America. But could you please tell us more about your company's efforts regarding overseas expansion? To which Nijisanji would say, they needed to develop their business from commerce to licensing to sales to content production, etc. And Nijisanji confirmed they wanted to recruit human resources not only in North America but also in Asia, probably because of the cheaper cost of hiring. And Nijisanji planned to hire people from a variety of language and cultural areas, and they were currently recruiting people living overseas as employees. Next, investors asked, what is the expected constant growth rate if you are a growing company? What phase are you in now? Is it time for investment or is it time for recovery? Should we buy the stock? Should we sell the stock? Nijisanji is trying to answer this question the best they can because they don't want their investors to sell the stock. They said they wanted to refrain from sharing certain numbers, but they promised they would continue to achieve a certain level of growth. Regarding phases, it has been 6 years since Nijisanji started their business, and Nijisanji would say, our business is not a business where we invest billions of yens and recover it several years later. Cycles are shorter and more frequent. Fair enough. In order to deliver attractive content to our fans, we will hire people, expand the necessary distribution equipment and other equipment, debut VTubers, receive feedback from our fans, which will lead to profits. I don't think this will involve a long-term, large-scale investment that I would dare to tell you the timing of investment or payback. Regarding consideration of merger and acquisition, basically buying out companies, there was a comment that you would announce your approach to merger and acquisition in your full year financial results. But is it correct to understand that you have basically been focusing on organic growth and have not been actively considering merger and acquisition? Nijisanji admits that they did consider merger and acquisition and they would react positively if the opportunity arises. Basically, they mean if somebody wants to buy them or they want to buy a different VTuber company, they would actually think about it positively. But Nijisanji would delay the response by saying, we plan to disclose our thoughts on merger and acquisition and new businesses in our full year financial results. This is just a question where investors asked regarding Nijisanji VTubers' views on their videos and live streams, any future plans. Nijisanji just said shorts are getting popular, views are increasing, so there may be some volatility because vacation days are increasing significantly from month to month. Nothing here really. Right, this is the final question, everyone, about the post-order mail order of the last Nijisanji festival. Investors would ask, my question is, are the mail order sales after the last Nijisanji festival recorded in the second quarter or in the third quarter? Which Nijisanji would reply, mail order sales after the last Nijisanji festival were recorded in the third quarter. Yeah, there's nothing here to say. I think that will be the end of the video. Thank you for watching this far. This is Rex Nebula, signing off.